Maybe I just do myself. Let's do this myself.
You
Boom.
have led us bravely. It has been an honor to follow your lead.
The gods really have it in for you. I wish they knew you like I did.
As long as I live, Masuk will sing your name alongside Persok's.
Straight into the fire, then. Your chances aren't favorable, but at least you've learned to embrace the test. I told you I'd be good for you, Watcher.
You take the divine helmet and tuck it away just in case. You have the hammer and swing at the crystal. A perfect, clear tone rings through the air and resonates through your teeth. Seconds later, ripples shiver through the water. Something big is coming. You give the others a final nod. The rest of the party scrambles out of the flooded cavern and flees through the tunnels. You continue hammering at the crystal, each strike magnifying the last. The echoes build into physical tremors. Meanwhile, a heavier rhythm pulses through the cave, footsteps, dozens of them. The others around a corner only see a line of eyeless advancing. The creatures stagger to the rhythm of the hammer thuds below, yet they crane their necks toward the party, are ratcheting back their piston arms. Cast repulsing seal. Consider who will cast it. Now, the first two eyeless step onto it and fall backwards, taking most of the others with them. Dodge past the eyeless. Sprints past the distracted monsters. Fortunately, the creatures are too focused on the hammering to give chase. They continue toward the cavern. You maintain a steady tempo on the crystal. The eyeless gather in the cavern, where they batter the walls in time with the hammer's rhythmic blows. The ground shakes, falling rocks and shattering crystals splash onto the ground. The party flees through dark, rumbling corridors. More spellbound eyeless shamble along, but they're too entranced by the swelling cadence to take more than an idle swipe at the party. The tunnel narrows, light filters through the head. The exit must be around the next bend, but it's clogged with rubble. Meanwhile, the ground drops several feet at once, and the tunnel begins rolling on its axis. The distant sound of the rushing water echoes from the cavern. Outlanders frenzy, and smash the rubble. Consider who will do it. Skani. Fury descends and fills Aloth's body with desperate, violent strength. Aloth bashes a path through the rubble. The moon shudders again. The party escaped onto the ice just as another thunderous crash sounds from below. Eyeless continue pouring into the cavern from every visible tunnel and crevice. Your ears ring at the ever-growing cacophony of smashing rock and shattering crystal. Meanwhile, the water level is rising. A skull-splitting crack rends the air, and a surge of water knocks you from your feet. The entire cave rotates, plunging you into a freezing soup of jagged metal, torn flesh, and stone. The others dash across the lake. The ice squeals. No, 1 second, chat. Okay, the others dash across the lake. The icy squeals and cracks, rocking dangerously underfoot. The sinking moon groans. Long fissures race across the ice. A zealous charge. Order the party onward with a zealous charge. Consider who will do it. Telegina. The words fill the party with vigor. Everyone speeds ahead while the ice cracks harmlessly behind them. At last, everyone reaches the safety of the shore. In the middle of the lake, only the tip of the moon is still visible above the ice. The survivors watch in silence as it sinks into the depths. You trudge to the rubble at the lake bottom. The water is freezing. The air in the diving helmet is acrid, and the sound of your own breathing roars in your ears. Still, it's better than drowning. You navigate out of the settling rubble and see the ghostly light of the surface above. Okay, at last you reach the shadows. You punch through a thin crust of ice and crawl ashore, trembling but alive. I completely forgot about that helmet. You stand at the edge of the lake. The bobbing of the ice and the rippling of the water's surface slows until you're looking at a moment frozen in time. When the world begins moving once more, it moves in reverse. The surface of the water turns and roils like it's about to spew something up, and it does. The fragment of Aorni Vrathi rises unbroken. Ice reforms across the surface of the lake, spreading in long, freezing fingers. Eyeless file out of the moon fragment and onto the ice, the wind around the moon in an ever-winding spiral. They stop as the head of their line reaches you. They speak in a single voice that resonates with grinding metal and hissing steam.
We shatter and sink, discarded like worn tools. Why have you consigned us to oblivion?
You would have destroyed Cadnua, Durgan's battery, and more. You would have killed many innocent people.
We do not cherish violence, but we will fight to defend the legacies of this world.
The Eyeless stand tall, ratcheting their arms back.
In one hand, a hammer. In the other, a mace. We protect the greatest works of civilization, lest it collapse beneath its own weight.
Then why did you storm Durgan's battery 200 years ago? Their protest is as sharp as squealing metal.
We would sooner sacrifice our own bodies than dislodge a single stone from such a place. Why do you torment us with baseless accusations?
Tell that to the Pagrunin you killed. The eyeless are still, but you hear their gears whir as their collective spirit ponders this.
Then we were betrayed.
Yes, you were transformed against your will.
And we were made to betray something we cherish.
You feel their bitter agony like a hammer strike. The legacy of the Anguithans, you mean?
The bedrock of civilization.
Suddenly they attack the ice beneath them, slicing and shattering it with mighty swings from their iron arms. And where the ice breaks, ancient towers rise, blotting out the blue sky and white peaks. What is this?
Each culture builds on the bones of the last. Yet many only look up at where they would go, never down at the foundations that bear them. Like a mason who builds a listing tower. What peril do they inflict on their progeny? And what dishonor on their forebears?
The betrayal of memory upsets you greatly.
It is accepting a gift only to spit in the face of the giver. Every advance in the crafts and institutions of Kith was forged by skill and sacrifice.
Feel these words and the anger behind them in your bones.
A people cut off from their history will wither, and they deserve no less.
Then what do you suggest?
To pull the blinders from the eyes of gods and Kith. That is why we must return to ourselves
and restore Abidan.
What do you mean return to yourself?
When Ione Brotha fell, Abidan lost much. His will to preserve, the memory of how and why he died. But he built us with fragments of his own soul. In returning, we can restore what was taken from him.
Perhaps Abaddon was meant to forget his past. Some knowledge is too dangerous for this world.
A facile argument. One that defends stasis, not progress.
Andra said Abaddon's memory would threaten the peace between the gods.
Just as fire clears dead wood from a forest, struggle makes way for new developments.
Flame rolls across the ice. As it dies away, clumps of ice melt. The towers rise higher.
Conflict is part of progress. Peace and ignorance is not worth keeping.
Animancy has no progress, yet it's responsible for White's, the Bellreach incident, and the swindle of desperate families. Ayla, you're part of the Leaden Key. Surely you understand why some secrets need to be kept.
I thought I did. But who would hold the Leaden Key accountable?
We cannot defend the intentions of a group that
One
kills
second,
to hide secrets.
And to what end? To defend the gods? Or themselves? More and more these days, I wonder.
His shouldn't have anything as powerful as the White Force.
Yet your hand kindled its fires.
And that nearly ended with the destruction of Durgan's battery and the deaths of thousands.
A fluke, but a costly one. Still, you point to an exception.
Animancy has made no progress.
And yet you persuaded the Duke to allow Animancy to continue unfettered. Do not condemn knowledge when it becomes inconvenient for you.
I've said my piece.
And we have listened.
You speak as if history were a guide, yet it doesn't always provide a good example.
Then do not look to it for one. History is not a moral force, but a set of facts. These facts show Kith where they have come from, and how to move forward.
The Deerwoodens and Glanfathans have fought 2 wars over their history, and they still haven't moved forward.
But the memory of those wars has likely saved them from another now, when it would shatter a barren Deerwood.
It doesn't take a war to shatter a nation. Already, Deerwood's neighbors conspired to strangle it through duplicities, trade agreements. Right, Pelagina?
Ah, in the Republics, we call it the Golden Sword. It doesn't need to be bloodied to kill.
And you think it is grievance and not merely opportunity behind this treachery?
The Soul seems to be in to debate this question with another one.
Maybe so. But we would not cast history aside over one such example.
Stalwart and the Iron Flayer remained at odds, even in the face of a bigger threat, all because of their history.
The problem is not that they remember too much of their history, but rather too little. Serans and Deerwoodens alike began as pioneers from Adir. They all came seeking opportunity. Were they to look farther back, they would see their common origins and desires.
But the experience of history is subjective. People remember what feels immediate and personal, just as you remember your own betrayal.
A painful truth. We admit that history can become a hindrance. Even so, We must restore Abidan.
Memory remains a burden, even when the events and people it recalls are long gone. It's pain with no purpose.
Burdens strengthen the bearer, and they warn against repeated mistakes. Why would you discard them so hastily?
I'm awakened. I'm tormented by questions from a past life.
A rare opportunity, for you have the chance to answer them, to do things left undone.
Sometimes moving on is the way to move forward. Remaining stuck in the past is not progress.
That presumes that some questions cannot be resolved. Yet such destructive memories are rare. Surely others are strengthened by retrospection, even amidst pain.
Very well. Return to yourself and be the god of preservation once more.
We shall see this world and its people restored.
A great wind shows at your back. Your ears pop and you feel for a moment as if all of the air is being sucked from the sky. Suddenly it ends. And you are standing in the snow looking over Kieran's scar. Stalwart, extraordinarily positive.
The Eyeless disappeared beneath the lake, their bond to Andra finally severed. With this threat ended, hope returned to the White March. Hunters returned to the wildernesses, and travelers to the roads. Tales of the Watcher's bravery replaced stories of monsters in the woods. The villagers of Stalwart busied their hands with work and their tongues with song, eager to seize on the promise of peace.
Okay. Ring of the Ancient Forge. Once per encounter. Okay, I already know about that one. Mythic. Grants Abaddon's power on critical hit. If successful, prone for 5 seconds. Only vessels. And then Echo of the Maker. Foe AoE. Only vessel. What the? Okay. But hey, we made it out of there, so oh, and I guess that means we're done with the White March Part 2. Sweet. Wow. Just want to see if our buddy's back here, or so far it's not looking like it. Oh, pupper pet. All right. All right, they're not here. Boom. Okay, then. Wow. Just wow. Are we gonna get a nice warm welcome back? Nope, not really. You've done it again. Hopefully we can enjoy some real peace now. Oh, well. Fine. Fine. Do 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 do.
Back to warm your hands, eh? What can I do for you?
Nothing. Wow. There's absolutely nothing. We pretty much got nothing out of this. No rewards or anything. Balls. Well, let's see what's here. See if we can talk to okay. we've definitely come a long way. Perhaps we shall know peace with the villagers now. Oh, well. Oh, she moved back, so maybe I can talk to her. Oh, no. She moved back again, so never mind. Never mind. Is there really nothing else to do up here? Like, are we completely done? Now we can just move on with the main story? How about up here? Ugh. I shouldn't talk too long or I'll get an earful. All right. Top of West Tower.
Looks like we're here to stay. And as long as we got folk working the White Forge, we'll need others watching the cannons, just in case.
Guess that's it. Time for main story. Yeah, let's go to White Forge. Ardaic should give aid if he survived. I think he had. Yeah, I think he survived. I was kind of looking for him. Where the hell is he? I figured we could talk to him before we leave. Apparently not. Huh. Yeah, let's just go with him. But all right, next up, I suppose we have nothing else we need to do, so we can probably go ahead and work on the Catanua dungeon. Yeah, work on the Catanua dungeon.
I must say, I'm impressed.
Okay. Okay. And suppose we should go ahead and rest before we do anything. It's always gonna be might. Oh, we're only down to 3 people now? All right. I will have to say though, that crystal saying that somebody was gonna get left behind was like, oh no, I didn't want to get rid of any of my party. Like, this is my main party. This is absolutely my main party. But let's do this. All right, where are we at? My hirelings will help in the Yenwood fight too? Oh. Oh. That's good to know. Stairs. Oh god. Oh, those look like they go up. So